Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to demystify a really powerful tool, one that shapes billion-dollar decisions every single day, the financial model.
So, let me ask you this. How in the world do companies make these massive billion-dollar bets on the future and actually have any confidence in them? I mean, we're talking about launching a new product, buying another company. The stakes are just incredibly high. Well, the answer, for the most part, lies right here, in a financial model. Now, it's not a crystal ball, let's be clear, but it's probably the next best thing. At its very core, it's a summary that takes everything a company has done in the past and uses that information to project what it might do in the future. And honestly, this is the best way to think about it. A financial model is like a detailed blueprint for a business. It lays out the whole structure, all the potential, and yeah, all the risks, long before a single dollar is actually spent. So let's stick with that blueprint idea for a bit. In this first section, we're going to get super clear on what a financial model really is, and just as important, what it's not. Okay, so here's something that trips people up all the time, the difference between modeling and accounting. Think of it like this. Accounting is like looking in the rearview mirror. It's a static report of what has already happened. A financial model, on the other hand, is all about looking through the windshield. It's dynamic, it's forward-looking. It takes that historical data from the rearview mirror, combines it with some smart assumptions, and builds a forecast to help you decide where to go next. All right, so now that we've got a handle on what this blueprint is, let's talk about why it's so critical. Why does every business need one to navigate the, totally complex world of business? Well, they're used for pretty much everything important. Companies use them to get funding from investors who, want to see some sort of plan for the future. They're absolutely essential if you're thinking about buying another company. And internally, they drive the whole annual budget process and help leaders decide which big projects get the green light. Oh, and for strategy, they're amazing. They let you see what really drives the business and what could go wrong. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. Just like an architect's blueprint, a financial model has to follow certain rules to be reliable. You don't want it to, fall apart when you need it most. There are really three foundational principles to a great model. First up, clarity and logic. The model has to be easy to understand. That usually means breaking it into clean sections, like inputs, calculations, and outputs. Second, consistency. You've got to use the same formats for things like dates and numbers everywhere. It just prevents so many headaches and errors. And third, flexibility. Look, the world changes fast. A great model is built so you can update it quickly when new information or a surprise comes along. And one of the simplest but most powerful tools for keeping things clear is just simple color coding. It sounds almost too basic, but believe me, it can make a massive difference and prevent some huge mistakes. This is a really common best practice system that tons of analysts use. Blue cells, those are for your hard-coded inputs. That's just a fancy term for any number you type in directly, like a key assumption. Black is for all your formulas, the calculations that are pulling from other cells, and green is often for your final outputs, or maybe a link to another spreadsheet. This system is awesome because anyone can look at the model and instantly get what's going on, and, crucially, it prevents somebody from accidentally typing over a super complicated formula.
So a blueprint isn't just for a sunny day, right? It has to be tested against potential storms, and this is where a model really shows its value.
The way we test it is through something called sensitivity analysis. Basically, it's a structured what-if game. You take your most important assumptions, things like, say, sales growth or interest rates, and you tweak them up and down to see how much your final answer changes.
And this table just brilliantly illustrates how powerful that is. What we're looking at here is how a company's valuation, what it's worth, changes based on those two factors, sales growth and interest rates. A leader can instantly see this whole range of possibilities, from the best-case scenario up in the top right to the worst case down in the bottom left. It lets them plan for uncertainty, not just hope for the best.
So a model isn't just about the big, exciting picture. It also has to manage all the nitty-gritty details, like tracking a company's debt schedule. I mean, you've got to know how you're going to pay back all those loans over time, right? To handle this accurately, analysts use this really clever technique, and it has a great name, the corkscrew model. And the name comes from exactly how the numbers flow from one time period to the next. It's such a simple but elegant concept. Check it out. The ending debt balance from month 1, that $105,000, it literally corkscrews down to become the beginning balance for month 2. And then it happens again for month 3. This creates this perfect, continuous, rolling link that tracks the debt balance perfectly as new money gets borrowed and old debt gets paid off.
Okay, let's wrap this up by focusing on the ultimate goal here. What's the point of all this work? What does it all really amount to?
I think this quote just sums it up perfectly. A financial model's value isn't that it can predict the future with perfect accuracy, because nothing can. Its real value, its true value, is that it gives leaders a structured, logical, and data-driven way to think about the future, which helps them make much smarter decisions today.
So that really brings us to our final thought. A financial model takes an idea and turns it into a real strategy. It's a blueprint for growth. And that leaves us with a final question for you. If you thought about your own career as a business, what would its financial model predict?